welcome back. I'm Tammy Myra, art teacher at Huntington High School, and this is Jara. Jara is going to be my cameraman today, and we are working on another pour. This is going to be a space theme, but with some trees and things in the background where it's not just the space picture. For today's lesson, you will need your paints that have been mixed with your combination of 70% glue, 30% water, a squirt of paint, and some silicone spray that I've already mixed in to these cups. You will also need a canvas. I am actually using an old canvas that I painted for a class that I was doing, and I don't really need it anymore. I actually have multiples of this design, so I'm going to recycle this canvas. You also need a very stiff brush so we can do some splattering, and you will need either a lighter or a torch. Remember, the first thing that you want to do is put your push pins into the back of your canvas. So this will keep your canvas lifted up off of your surface so that your paint can drip over the edge as it needs to. Make sure that you get them in the same distance each way so that your canvas is level and your paint doesn't run off the edges. I'm going to flood my canvas with my black paint so that I will have an even surface and a method of movement for the other paint that I'm going to pour on here. I'm gonna have the trees coming up from the bottom, so I don't really need to do the whole canvas. That's why I'm just focusing mostly on this area here. And you know, I love pink, so I always gotta throw a little bit of pink in here.
Girls these days.
The Aurora Borealis has some pink in it.
Okay. Okay, Mom.
All right, so now comes the fun part.
Yeah, very fun.
I'm gonna turn it this way, Jara, so you can see what I'm doing here.
Okay. Look at the colors just merge together like that and make it all wavy because you got all on the sides.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean...
Stop with the noises.
Okay. I'm a freak.
Alright, so I'm going to heat up the paint a little bit to bring out some of these cells that I want to see and to pop some of the bubbles. Make sure that after you have your pour the way you want it, you run your hands along the edge here and you get rid of any of those drips, because you don't want those drips to dry under there. And if you have any areas on the sides of your canvas that need attention, now would be the time to do that, because you'll have paint all over your hands anyway. Just kind of touch the edges here and fix any bare spots that you might have. Now that my pour has dried, I want to add some stars and some trees down here to the bottom, so it kind of looks like you're looking up through the trees at the Milky Way. It's very important that if you're going to add stars, you want to do it before you add your trees, because once you start splattering and you have trees down here, then you're going to end up with white specks on your trees, and you don't really want that for this style of painting. So I'm just going to put some paint on a stiff brush and flick it with my finger. Until I get the amount of stars that I want. I've done my stars. I'm going to cover up some of the sides here with black so I can create the illusion of mountains where the trees are coming off the mountains and you're down in a valley looking up. This does not have to be straight because, of course, mountains are not straight. You do want to make sure you have an even coat so that the color is the same. And don't forget about your sides. So to do the trees, you want a fairly small brush. Something like this will work fine. You're going to start with the centers of the trees, the trunk, the part that comes up. And then we're going to go back and add the details of the branches. So the cool thing about trees is that you kind of can make them however you want depending on the type of tree you're going for. So I'm just gonna dab my brush like this and start filling it in this way. I don't want the branches to go all the way down to the ground, of course, because that's not how trees look. Now that I have the tops on all the trees, I'm going to come back with a little white mixed in my black. I'm just going to add some shadows and some base to the tree here to kind of give it some definition. Kind of give the mountain some shape so it's not so solid. Here is the finished product. I decided that I wanted this to kind of look like it was in the winter, so I went with my white paint, added a little bit of black to the edges of the trees to give it the appearance of snow in the trees. I hope you try this at home, and I look forward to seeing your work.